What up, Nomads? In this video, I want to introduce you to one of my favorite money-saving travel hacks: booking your accommodation on HomeExchange, a website that allows you to stay at other people's houses basically for free, and I'll explain how. Let's go. There's no doubt Airbnb is currently the most popular alternative to hostels and hotels. But over the years, it's gotten a little overly commodified, to the point where people buy apartments just for Airbnb or evict their long-term tenants in favor of short-term rentals. It's been a real problem for several years now, and you can really feel the impact on vacancy rates and rent rates in dense cities like Montreal. But remember, when Airbnb just started and was still very much just for people who loved traveling and wanted a more authentic and affordable alternative to hotels, that's what HomeExchange feels like. It's an international community of people who love to travel and list their homes online for people to swap homes or exchange for redeemable guest points, the HomeExchange currency. So how does it work? First, create an account on HomeExchange. If you use my link in the description, you'll start off with 250 guest points. Once you have an account, you can do a few more tasks to earn points. Fill out your profile, list your home, refer a friend. It's actually pretty easy to rack up points and book your first stay. If you have your eye on a place but don't quite have enough guest points to cover your stay, you can actually buy more guest points. They are offered at 15 cents USD per guest point, but you can only use purchased guest points to pay for a maximum of 20% of the total number of guest points needed for the exchange. Then, if supplementary guest points are required, they will cost $1.50 USD per guest point. This encourages you to earn guest points by having people stay at your house, so that HomeExchange remains a community that gives and takes. So a quick tutorial on how to list your home. You can choose to list your available dates, and when you do, you can pick two methods: reciprocal exchange or guest points. Reciprocal exchanges are a one-to-one swap. You take over someone's home, they stay at your house. This is great in theory, but incredibly hard to coordinate and find the perfect swap. So that's why there's also the second option, a non-reciprocal exchange, which means an exchange for guest points. When you list your home, you set the amount of guest points per night, basically establishing what your home is worth. A lot of factors go into how you should price your home: size, location, amenities, proximity to tourist attractions and transportation, and your home's aesthetic and design. Once your home is posted, people message you and ask if it's available. There's no obligation to say yes, or even to answer inquiries, even if it's considered courteous to reply within 48 hours. If someone reaches out and you agree on a date, you can confirm everything in the dashboard and the points will be transferred to you. Even if they cancel because of COVID, you'll retain your points. So what about when you want to travel? Well, it's as simple the other way around too. Find a place you want to stay at by using the search engine. Look at the calendar, the map, the criteria, and review homes. Send messages out to introduce yourself and your fellow travelers that you're traveling with, and start discussing with homeowners. Back when I joined, there was no membership fee, but you would be charged a HomeExchange fee per night, which came out to an average of $15 a night. Not bad at all for some of the homes that I saw on there. But now there's actually a flat annual membership of $175 USD for unlimited stays in the year. You don't need a membership to host, but you do need one to book stays and to use your guest points. If I compare it to the old model of $15 a night, $175 means that in about 12 nights, it comes out to the same cost. If you like to travel, or even just have a staycation in your own town at a house that has a pool, booking 12 days in 1 year is not actually that much. It makes the annual membership worth it. And it also helps create a more community feel with active and engaged members. For the logistics of the exchange, it's a lot like Airbnb. You communicate through the app. Hosts can either decide to greet you or just leave instructions to access a lockbox, key, or give you a code to enter. One thing I tell people when booking on HomeExchange is that you have to be patient and persistent. On average, they say that you need to contact 10 different homeowners before you'll find a host where the dates work for them. Luckily, the HomeExchange network is huge. so there are lots of choices. But not everyone's homes are available the exact dates that you want, or they might not have the exact amenities that you need. So even if you get turned down 5 times, keep searching for homes, sending messages, and eventually you'll find the perfect fit. What's my experience with HomeExchange? My sister originally turned me on to HomeExchange after she'd stayed a few nights in Boston and later 2 weeks in Sweden, staying at a family's house. Back in 2019, I had plans to stay a week in San Francisco between business trips. But San Francisco is a pretty pricey city. I love it, but it's expensive. So I was weighing my options of staying elsewhere in the Bay Area or maybe cutting the trip short to save money. You also have to read each home listing very carefully to make sure that you meet their criteria and they meet yours. For example, some listings have a minimum night stay, or you need to look after a pet or water plants. I ended up contacting 6 different homes before I was able to secure a spot. Then after chatting back and forth with the owners and agreeing on a cleaning fee and check-in time, the exchange was finalized. Once I arrived at my HomeExchange place, it was more or less like Airbnb. My first day was a carriage house that I'd booked, and it was attached to the main residence of the owners, but completely separate with its own access. The hosts were super friendly, and the place was absolutely amazing. At the time, the program's model was still the $15 fee per night, so I paid $60 in HomeExchange fees and a $60 cleaning fee directly to the owners, along with a few hundred guest points, which I split with my other traveler. Not bad for 4 nights in a beautiful neighborhood in San Francisco. The host told me that they had previously been listing their carriage house on Airbnb, but that Airbnb guests they hosted had crazy high expectations, that Airbnb fees and percentage cuts were higher and higher, and they didn't enjoy the business feel of it, and at the end of the day, they really didn't make that much money. So they decided it was much more enjoyable for them to use HomeExchange and use their points to book family vacations in Italy. That was one of my experiences as a guest, but what about as a host? When I was traveling for months at a time in Europe, I had a couple of families stay at my place back to back. At first, I didn't charge a cleaning fee on the first exchange, but I learned that trick from the San Francisco family, so I started doing that after. The pros for me were that I had people on location to water my plants while I was gone, all while earning guest points I could spend elsewhere. If the thought of renting out your house to strangers is scary, or the thought of booking accommodations through a random website makes you nervous, I recommend checking out the guarantees section of the HomeExchange website. There's a cancellation policy that protects hosts and guests, or if you arrive at a HomeExchange location and it's total garbage, they'll cover your last-minute accommodations elsewhere. And if your property is damaged while someone's staying at it, their insurance covers up to $1 million. Even with all those guarantees, I would advise not to leave too many breakables or valuables out in your home. There are certainly some things I do to prep my home for guests, like put away my personal things, make sure the fire extinguisher is easy to find, and leave a lot of instructions on how to use the different parts of my home. So, what do you think? Would you try HomeExchange? Leave a comment below if you have, and let me know about your experience. Thanks for watching, and happy travels. Thanks for watching this video until the end. For more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the Capsule Suitcase and turn on notifications so you get all the fresh content as soon as it comes out. Thanks for supporting this channel. Happy travels!